Do you constantly find yourself in situations you don't want to be in, places you don't want to be, things you don't want to do? Well, you're not alone, because I'm one of them people. And we're going to talk about some of them. Hey, man, y'all want to keep it down while you're eating your scratch? I'm trying to make a movie here, okay? Chickens. Thought I'd give them a little airtime, and now they got to make all these noises along with these guys up here. There are a lot of things that we do in our society today that have lost meaning. They have lost all meaning, and now they're just done, and sometimes we don't even know why. So we're going to start off going through a few of those things real quick. And I guarantee you, a lot of you will agree, and you're going to be thinking, man, I thought I was the only one that thought like that. So let's get started. First thing, clothing. People expect you to wear nice clothes, the Gucci and all this stuff, and man, some people can't even afford to eat, yet they're going to spend more than they can budget on clothing to please other human beings around them. That is foolish. Isn't it foolish? It's become a status symbol. Now, I don't see it so much here in the country. We wear t-shirts. And if you notice in my videos, I only have a few colors of shirts. Okay, I order the 6-packs of the Hanes t-shirts. And I get mad when I forget to get the ones with the pocket. I'm basic, man. I don't need the Gucci shirts, and I don't need any of that. And if I need some kind of a dress shirt, I go to Walmart and I get George. George makes a good dress shirt. And you wear it, you put it in the closet for the next 6 months till you go to the next fancy function that you probably don't want to be at. So I have simplified that part of my life. I never have wore fancy clothes, maybe some Western wear back, when I was going through the honky tonks and stuff. But as far as man, it'd kill my soul to pay more than $20 for a shirt. I just won't do it. I can get a whole, 6-pack of these for $20, and I'm happy, and they're comfortable. I ain't gonna wear some uncomfortable thing, And in the winter, I like wearing sweatpants and sweatshirts around here because they're comfortable. But people seem to judge us all on what we wear, and you see that really, and it was around when I was in school. One kid's wearing, this brand's in, all the kids are wearing it. And the clothes they're wearing today, oh man, I don't know. But every generation doesn't like the younger generation's clothing. So that's just one thing. Another thing where my views are different is education. Now, I am not a college educated man, but I've been around. I've learned a lot of things. I'm very much a self-taught man when it comes to things like electrical, plumbing, carpentry. Whatever it is, I will figure it out. Nowadays, it's a lot easier because we got YouTube, we got access to the internet. Didn't have that when I was younger, and it was a lot. You would have to go to the older person to learn how to do things, which is kind of a lost thing now. Nobody asks. They just get on the internet and there's a video on it. So one of the reasons I like making videos when I do the projects around the house. But college has become nothing more than a status symbol again. And the thing of it is, you go to college for what, 4 years, 6 years? You want to be a doctor longer. What are you getting when you get out? You're starting with a huge debt. A huge debt. Does that sound like it's planned? You bet it is. They know they're going to pay you good, but then they're going to be making money off you because of the debt. Yes, we need doctors. I don't know if we need lawyers, but we need a lot of professions. But there are people that go to college for 4 years and they never do nothing with it. And they are probably some of the dumbest people on the face of the earth. They're book smart. But they have zero survival skills. They wouldn't know what to do in a lot of situations. And I think too much focus is put on education. Go back to the one-room schoolrooms, I think you learn, I think even grade school and high school and all, that's too long. Because after about 8th grade, They start teaching you the same thing over and over. You're not learning much more. Let them out early, let them get some experience because life is short. We don't want to spend our first 25 years of that in school. You're missing out. So jobs go the same way. The term making it, it's always tied to, it's again, a status symbol. People always ask you, what do you do for a living? Well, why do you need to know that? I have a job, I make money, I'm happy. They don't care about that. They want to know, one of the first things when you meet somebody new on the street, meet somebody new in a relationship, one of the first questions they will ask you is, what do you do for a living? You know why they ask that? Because they're going to make judgments on you based on what you do for a living. And that, you know, that in itself is not good. Careers and jobs also take away a good part of your life. You're spending a big chunk of your day at work or at a job, and a lot of times you're bringing that home with you. I did it for many years. We don't really have a choice. We need to make money, so we have to have a job. So there's really not much we can do about that. I think we just need to change the thinking on why we're working, why we have to have a job. Quit asking people what they do for a living, because I'm guilty of it, you're guilty of it. If you ask somebody what they do for a living and I say, oh, I'm a garbage man, you're going to start passing judgment and thinking things right away. It's human nature. That's just how we do it. So jobs, if we could come up with some sort of life where we didn't have to work, oh, what a place it would be. But I don't see that happening, at least not in my lifetime. Another thing, now these are all things that I don't necessarily agree with or like and don't do if I don't have to. And doesn't mean that you do these things, they're bad. But tomorrow is the 4th of July, right? Holidays is another one that gets me, and they just keep adding more and more and more holidays. But the holidays that we've had, the traditional holidays that we've had in place for years, nobody even knows what the meanings of them are. Tomorrow is 4th of July, which to me is Independence Day. That's the day this country became a country. To most everybody, especially the younger people, to most everybody else out there, oh, it's a day you go pop firecrackers and drink beer and go to the lake. Same with Memorial Day. Same with a lot of these holidays. It doesn't have any meaning. It's just a day they're off work and they can spend some money and have some fun and cook out some food. Christmas has lost all meaning. It's been commercialized. Same with Thanksgiving. That's about eating, eating, eating. Yes, you get together with family, but it's about eating. And they've just, I don't disrespect any holidays. To me, it's a regular, ordinary day. Well, what's another one? Birthdays. Okay. Everybody that knows me knows I always say, birthdays are for women and children. Yep. That's the way I feel. I see these grown men, 30, 40, 50 years old. And they'll start a week before their birthday. It's going to be my birthday. It's going to be my birthday. Dude, man, you're like 45 years old. So what? So what? Everybody gets one every year. I see no point in celebrating a day. And to me, it's made a lot of people greedy. It's about spending money, getting gifts, expecting gifts. People even go as far as say to tell people what kind of things they can get them. I could never do that. Never, 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 never. If you have a child that's having a birthday, celebrate that. But as far as I'm concerned, once you're over 21, they should be out the door. Now, once you hit 90, start selling them or celebrating them again because you've hit a milestone, okay? But a grown adult shouldn't put any focus on their birthday at all. I could tell you that from experience. It's just, that irks me. I don't know why. If somebody says, come to my birthday party, I'm like, hey, you're 38 years old, man. You're going to have cake and the little hats and the little things that go, woo, woo. I ain't coming. All right? I got trash to take out today. We just have a lot of traditions that have gone way overblown now. Funerals. That is one thing I will not have. And I'm going to tell you why. It is okay. I would just as soon have somebody throw a party. Okay? A big party, everybody have a good time. Funerals are such a waste of time. Yes, I mean, it's all about extravagance, and I'm not disrespecting funerals, but what do? They make people sad. They make people sad, especially if it's an open casket thing. Ain't nobody wants to, I personally, I don't want to go see. I don't want to see that person laying there. I would like to remember that person the last time I seen them and talked to them, the memories that we had. That doesn't need to be the last thing stuck in my head. And it was worse in the 1800s. They would actually stand them up and take pictures and with the family. It's just, and you just walk in and it's like the funeral directors are, okay, come over here, and they're whispering. And if the person's died, you've accepted that. You have no choice but to accept it. I'm sorry if this upsets you, some of you guys that have had funerals and stuff. I personally, this is just my personal opinion. I think they're a waste of money. I think they're a waste of time. It's just, you can spend as much as you want on one. Miss Tilly, no, I got dog intrusion here. You leave that stuff. Okay, you can't be on the camera. Okay, so funerals, yeah. Like I said, I'm not gonna have one. I don't even want an obituary. I don't want, just. And here's something to think about. In about 100 years, nobody's going to know who you were or that you ever existed. That's the truth. Tilly. Okay. So why does it bother people when you buck the system, when you don't like these traditions, you don't choose to celebrate these things? Why does that bother people? Because that challenges what they think is normal. It gets them to thinking. And, well, Tilly, shoo. She's something else. It challenges what they think is normal, and God forbid you do that. People do not like to be challenged. People like routines. People like the same thing every day, every month, every year. And I don't like living life like that. I wake up every day. I don't have anything planned usually. And I think cities have ruined a lot of that for humans. They just have. Everybody's too piled up. Things have gotten too easy. You want to go to the store, it's around the corner. Out where I live, it's an hour drive too. If I want to go to Walmart or something, or the nearest city, it's an hour's drive. I got time to think. I got time to think on the way back. It's an adventure, and that's the way it used to be everywhere. Even in cities, they didn't have a store on every corner or a restaurant on every corner. And now there's just too many options, and people are spoiled, and life has just become routine, very routine. And I like to break that cycle. If I want to wake up tomorrow and not do a thing, guess what? I ain't going to do a thing. So if you're feeling like that on some of them subjects or all of them subjects, let me know in the comments. Give me a like and subscribe. Now, I will be getting back as soon as it starts cooling down. It actually hasn't been a hot summer, but a little too hot to be outside working. I'll get back to my projects, but I'm going to be putting some of those videos on my other channel. Okay, bird. Did you have to be so loud? I'll be putting some of them up on my other channel, and that channel name is The Dog Man. I will have a link in the description. I've had that channel. That used to be the name of this channel, The Dog Man. And that used to have Washita Mountain Living, and I swapped and confused a whole bunch of people and lost a whole bunch of subscribers. But here we are. So Thanks for watching, guys. Happy trails.